Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We have a really busy week this week. It's just completely full on. Firstly, we are TV testing again, week 2. We've also got the seed cleaners coming at some point because we've got to just clean our seed ready to be drilled. We've got some winter wheat and some winter barley to clean. And I think they're coming, I don't know, Wednesday, something like that. We also have the foot trimmer coming because we're going to look at that bull's foot again, and Ruben, the vet who trimmed it the first time, is also going to come because he wants to inject it with some Micotil, I believe. I think Micotil because I think it's one of the things we're not allowed to have on farm, because if you inject yourself, you die, and we don't want to be doing that. So he's going to come and inject the bull as well. We've also got the lorry coming for some fat cattle. We're drawing fat cattle about every week at the minute, and which is quite nice, to be honest. It's nice to get some cattle gone every week, and coming for these guys here. That's coming at some point, and we also need to sort out all the others because they're growing so fast at the minute. We just can't keep up with them. And then to top it all off, we've got to have it all done by about Thursday, because on Thursday afternoon I'm off to London for the Farmers Weekly Awards, because I got invited as a columnist for the Farmers Weekly, which is quite nice. I've never been before. I've heard it's a good do, so I thought, well, might as well take the opportunity and go. First job of the day, however, is to take some eggs up to the honesty box, because we are selling out so quickly. We just cannot keep up. I've got some in here that someone's requested that I'm going to put aside for them. Here we go. Put them under there. They were literally laid this morning. Dad's just roped me in to help move these cows up to the Tudor field, which is just over there. Some absolutely massive calves in here as well. Look at the size of them. Now, foot trimmer's going to come, so got to get the bulls in. I'm going to get Paul in and Yeti in, and hopefully we'll give them a good trim up and they'll be right as rain. You can see here, we've got all 5 bulls in together actually, just here. Living the dream. One you. And one you. Oh, for those guys who haven't seen him yet, this is Wizard. He's the new stabiliser bull. Come on then, you pair. Yeti's got a bit of a long claw here, that's what we're going to deal with. And you're going to have your feet looked at. Don't know if you can see how he's laid out. You can see his block there. We're going to check that out, mate. Try and fix you up. Come on, boys. As soon as we got the bulls in, Nigel arrives with his foot trimming crate. This crate is made by Whopper and it tows behind a vehicle which he can move then from farm to farm. It all folds out neatly and works hydraulically. He asked me to get one of the first bulls in, which is Yeti, the young stabiliser bull. He was a little unsure as he's never had his feet trimmed before, but after a bit of encouragement, we got him inside the crush. This will hold him super secure, so it's both safe for the bull and for Nigel to work on him. Not sure that Yeti was overly impressed though. Nigel lifts up both of Yeti's back feet individually and says they're both pretty good. They don't need to do a lot of trimming, nothing really major needs to happen to them, and they're going to be good for another day. He then moves on to his front left-hand side where Yeti seems to be walking a little bit uneasy. He says there doesn't seem to be a lot up with him, but he is walking on his heels a little bit, so takes a closer look. He uses the grinder to get his feet level so that he can stand properly, and then moves on to his right-hand side and does the same. He uses the grinder just to shape the toes of Yeti before letting him out back to the field, and hopefully that'll sort his lameness. Nigel then asked me to get the other bull ready for the crush. This is Paul. You might remember him from a couple of weeks ago. He had an abscess on his back right hand foot, but also a couple of other issues we didn't address at the time. Nigel checks out his back left first and finds that he's had a stone at some point, caused a little bit of white tissue damage. He finds it's caused a little bit of bruising, so trims him up and then adds a block to relieve any more pressure. He then lifts up Paul's back right foot to look at the abscess that we treated a couple of weeks ago and investigate further the issues that we didn't treat first time round. At this point, Ruben, the vet who treated Paul 2 weeks ago, turns up, so Nigel sets him to work. Ruben removes the block that he put on a couple of weeks ago and takes a look at that inside claw. He finds a necrosis, which is infected tissue that can track up the inside of the claw. He has to remove as much of that infected tissue as possible in order to stop it getting any worse. Nigel then jumps in and adds a block to the other side in order to relieve any pressure before adding a bit of copper sulfate to help heal the wound. We then put Paul back in the field for a bit more well-earned rest and relaxation. Right, and that is the balls done, which is good news. Hopefully they'll both be right as rain in a couple of weeks' time. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Let's go get something else done. Bit of a change of plan. Barley and I are gonna go drilling. Dad's just getting ready for the seed cleaners. You can see there behind me, he's putting the stuff in the trailer, ready for them to get here. First, we need to get this all sorted out. We need to blow up one of the tires. We've got to fill up with fuel. We've got to check the radiator and blow all that out. And then we've got to fill up with seed and calibrate. Now, just got to calibrate the drill. One thing I love about my Clayton drill is it comes with its own set of Clayton scales, which I think is awesome. Look at that, printed up and everything. I reckon I should get some Baldy's farm scales. And then open up. Dad's just about to go and get me some seed. He's filled up those trailers, ready for seed cleaners. Happy days. Just realised I'm not going to get very far without this, the Clayton drill box, because that is kind of what makes it all work, isn't it? Put it up here. It's quite cool. We use these little ball mounts, they're ram mounts, they're amazing. We use them for everything. These things are so good. Brilliant. You can get it wherever you want it in the cab. And there we go, mounted perfectly. If you wonder what these sucker things are that are all over my cab window, I've got a window guard on. I'm going to take it off because it's starting to drive me mad. Here comes Dad with the seed. You have to fill this drill from the side because you can't reach far enough to get it over the back. And then we have it, hopper full of seed. But any of you seed fans want to guess what it is I'm drilling? Oh, something a bit different. Now to calibrate it up, we'll take this pipe off. Go like that, and then hold this bucket under there, and then we press this button here and we should get some joy. Look at that. And then tip it into this bucket and weigh it with my trusty scales. Then I have the job of coming in here and then plug into this 2.99. See what it says. Right, error 9.4%. Calibrate it again, get that down to less than 1, and we're ready to go. Any idea what that mystery crop is, seed fans? Well, I'll tell you, it's forage rye, which we've never grown before. Something a bit different for us, and hopefully it'll be a big improvement for lots of reasons. Thank you, appreciate that. We're growing it on around about 50 acres of the ground this year, which is a fair chunk, I'm going to admit, considering we've never done it before, but I'm going to do a couple of different things with it, and I'll explain a bit more when we get out in the field. We're now in the field and we are starting to drill the forage rye. I was going to do this outside, but it is incredibly windy. You can't hear a word I say, and it is now raining as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill around about 48, 50 acres of this forage rye in 2 fields. One is 34 acres and this one, which is 14 acres that I'm in right now. The plan is to get some early grazing for the cows, so when we're calving in the spring, we can either calve in the sheds and turn out onto this, or we could potentially, if it was really good weather, we could even carve out on this, but we'll just wait and see and play it by ear. But it will just relieve a lot of pressure off the grass, because apparently this forage rye puts on so much bulk, so it'll be a hell of a lot of grazing on here, and it'll take a long time for them cows to munch through it. And the 34 acre at the other end of the farm, we're going to mow it and make some silage of it. But I'm not going to talk too much about the forage rye right now, because I want to do a proper video on it, because I was looking for a lot of information on this forage rye when I was sort of doing my research into growing it, and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to do a video about the forage rye, and we're going to keep revisiting it until we, well, graze it, mow it, do whatever we do with it. But until that video comes out, if you have any questions, honestly, please stick them down in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them, because I'm really trying to do more with this kind of thing, grow more crops that we can graze, have a bit more diversity on the farm, do something different. And I'm thinking this could be a real game changer for us, so we'll just wait and see. Well, that looks like the end of drilling for a day or two. It absolutely chucked it down in the end. So we got rained off. The seed cleaners also got rained off, so it looks like they're not coming either. I had to dump the tractor in the gangway just so that it didn't get too wet. Yeah, what a nightmare. So with that, it looks like it's the end of another video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, you can click on my face to subscribe, or check out some of the other videos on the screen for you right now. Whatever you get up to this weekend, have a great one, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.